This is one of my favorite topics to talk about, and I'm so excited to share this with you today because this is the exact business model that I have seen transform so many of my clients' businesses dramatically, like literally night and day difference, making way more money, working way less, way happier with the clients that they're working with and the workload that they have, and really experiencing the business that they started as an entrepreneur for in the first place. So I love sharing this business model. And it is a business model that we teach our clients in our Nourished Business Accelerator program to implement effectively. And so I want to walk you through the exact business model, why it's going to help you grow your business, and how to do it effectively. So here's what I see so many coaches and practitioners trying to do to grow their businesses and experiencing either low sales or a ton of burnout. These are coaches and providers who are selling single sessions or maybe just offering those lower ticket, small bite packages to get clients. Or if you're a healthcare provider like I used to be, maybe you're taking insurance and getting paid just for your face to face time with actual clients. And that model probably isn't giving you the financial freedom that you're after and that you started your business for. And maybe right now your smaller audience feels like it's not enough to sustain your business with these lower ticket offers, but you're not getting enough audience growth to feel confident that you're on the right path or that you even could raise your prices. And you're seeing other coaches in your network kill it in their businesses, even with smaller audiences. Maybe it's a few hundred, maybe it's 1,000 or 2,000, and they're making 100, 200, 300K and even more every year, even with just a couple of hundred or thousand followers. And you're wondering, what am I missing? Maybe you're feeling stressed out by the idea that you need this massive following to hit your income goals because you really don't want to have to be some social media celebrity just to be able to make good money. And right now, your income is all over the place. It's swinging up and down every month with these single sessions, even though you're working your tail off. And the clients you are working with need to be chased down every single week just to get them to book new sessions. That means your client load is totally unpredictable every month or even on a week-to-week basis. Maybe you've even hit a financial growth plateau and you feel totally stuck without a clear path to break through without having to totally sacrifice your personal life to get there. The reason why I can speak to these problems is because so many of the clients that we've worked with have come to me with this exact business model. They're constantly working in their business and seeing tons of clients, but they're nowhere near reaching their income goals. They're feeling doubtful about their ability to make consistent sales, especially if they want to raise their prices and charge what they're quote unquote worth. They're feeling like the idea of creating a higher ticket signature program feels totally overwhelming because they have no idea how they would sell it. And they're questioning if their niche can even support a higher priced offer. Maybe they work with busy moms, or maybe they work with athletes and they're just like, oh, nobody in my niche has any money to spend. So I got to keep selling these really low priced offers and just hope people buy. This is so common, and it's something that holds so many coaches and practitioners back from making the money that they're capable of making or even having the lifestyle that they want to have, because the only way to make more money in this business model is to work your tail off, work 12-hour days, work weekends, see clients in the early hours of the morning all the way up to the evening. And if you're a mom like me, especially with young children, that's not even an option for you. You're literally strapped for time. You can't take on more clients even if you wanted to. And your client load week to week is so unpredictable because you're never really sure if people are going to come back or if they're going to want to book another session. So you're constantly hustling, trying to get new clients while also wondering, are the people I'm working with even getting good results? Oof, it is exhausting, right? So if that's your experience, I'm promising you it does not have to be that way. And I want to walk you through the model that's going to get you out of all of that in today's episode. Now, if you are experiencing this problem, there's a few different methodologies that maybe you've tried that probably haven't worked. And a lot of it is because you are just hearing the wrong things from people who either don't know what they're talking about or who have something to sell you. So if somebody's trying to sell you on doing low ticket offers, then yeah, they're going to say things like high ticket offers are dead, or that, oh, low ticket offers are the only thing selling in this downturn market. Or maybe you have friends and family that are just like, oh, it's a tough economy. Maybe you should lower your prices. Maybe you should lower your expectations. They want to be supportive, but they're kind of poo-pooing your dreams, right? If you're getting this kind of advice from people, maybe that's what you think you need to do is maybe I just need to lower my prices even more. Or maybe I just have to accept that this is the way it's going to be. Now, another problem you can run into is if you work with some business coaches, Other coaches and courses can focus so much on audience growth and going viral and getting views and getting likes and comments and engagement on social media. And I'm not saying there's anything theoretically wrong with having a big audience, but most of the time, if that's your focus, you're going to end up spending tons of time trying to grow an audience on top of all that time you have to spend serving clients. And who's to say that all of that audience growth is even going to want what you're selling in the first place? So now you've basically given yourself two full-time jobs. Now you're a full-time marketer and Instagram creator, and you're a full-time coach and practitioner. And maybe you know that, okay, if I want to make more money and not have to see as many clients, I have to raise my prices. But when you've tried to raise your prices, you get tons of money objections. So you end up backing away from a higher priced offer, even though you know it's the only way to get out of your current situation without having to grow this massive audience. And you just go back to what you've been doing because it's safe, it's comfortable, it's predictable. Even if it sucks, it's still something that feels more comfortable than learning how to sell that higher ticket offer. Maybe you've even bought into the fear mongering around the economy and you're starting to become convinced that nobody's going to spend money with you unless you keep your services super affordable. I put affordable in heavy air quotes because affordable is relative. Who's to say what affordable is? And if you think about it, pretty much every other industry right now is raising their prices to account for inflation. So why on earth, if we're dealing with inflation, why would you lower your prices when every single other business out there is raising them? And I'm not saying you have to raise your prices necessarily, but this idea that everything has to be, quote, affordable is really keeping a lot of coaches and practitioners stuck. It's causing them to overwork, overserve, overdeliver, and be undercompensated for what they're doing for their clients. That is what leads to burnout. That is what leads to you quitting your business if it doesn't get solved. And that is what leads to you not being able to have the impact that you could have if you were able to balance your financial needs and goals with that lifestyle that you want to have, where you get to take care of yourself and have downtime, have days off, get to be done on the computer at 5 o'clock or earlier, and not be working these crazy hours just trying to make ends meet. The truth is that high ticket offers are not dead. They're very much alive and well. And my most successful clients are selling high ticket programs on a weekly basis. This is the business model that works best for people who do not want to have to grow a huge audience to be successful, which is the majority of the people that I work with. If you're the kind of person that really just loves serving clients and you don't want to have this massive Instagram following where you're constantly creating content and basically showing your life, putting yourself on display for everyone to see just to get followers, then this is the business model for you. So if that is you, let's talk about how to make this high ticket business model work for your business. High ticket, high touch programs are designed to solve a high value problem for people who have money to invest in themselves. This is the one thing you absolutely need to be doing. Even if you're selling lower ticket, you have to solve a high value problem for people who have the money to invest in themselves. They just might not need to invest quite so much if you're selling lower ticket. Now, my definition of high ticket is a little different than maybe what other coaches would define high ticket as, because I don't work with clients who sell money-making outcomes. I work with clients who sell health services, who sell mindset, who sell energy work, that kind of stuff. That is not specifically a money-making outcome. And high ticket in that space is a little bit different. So if you're a coach that serves more of an average customer versus like a business owner or a corporate client, then high ticket is generally going to mean that your services are priced above $2,000 US. Could be a little less. Obviously, it can be more than that. I've had clients sell $5,000 all the way up to $12,000 programs specifically in the health and nutrition space. So $2,000 is really just a starting point. Sometimes you can go a little lower. Obviously, it depends on what country you're in and what is considered high ticket there. But if you're in the United States, then $2,000 is a good starting point for a high ticket offer. Your high ticket program can range everywhere from purely one-on-one sessions with the only service you're providing being your time, all the way up to hybrid programs or high touch group programs. It does not have to be a one-on-one offer to be high ticket. So remember that. I have clients that sell programs everywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 and beyond, and it is not strictly one-on-one. And that's in the health and nutrition space, in a space where they're serving clients that are not making money from their service opportunities. So before we get into some of the tips on how to sell high ticket, I want to talk about why high ticket is so valuable. I do think sometimes it can be a little scary to sell high ticket. It can feel a little overwhelming. But if you know why it's going to help you so much, it's something that can motivate you to take the leap and actually move past that fear because there's so much value and reward on the other side of it. So the benefit for you as the coach or practitioner, first of all, is that you get to have fewer appointments and fewer total clients in order to reach your financial goals. Instead of having to see 5, 10, 15 clients every single day, what if you saw 2 or 3 clients for a few days a week? Wouldn't that be amazing? That'll give you more time and space to meet your own needs, to take care of yourself, to go on walks, to exercise, to do hobbies, to do all those things that you want to do to have a full life beyond your business. And that is necessary to reduce your client load to get there. A high ticket program also allows you to focus in on just a handful of expertise areas and really allows you to become an actual expert in a topic versus having to be knowledgeable on so many different things. If you're seeing client after client with different problem after different problem, and you're never really getting a chance to go deep on any one problem or solution. The most important thing it's going to do for you, however, is you're going to make more money, you're going to have more free time, and you're going to have much better work-life balance than if you are selling low ticket or single sessions to make your money. Now, it's not just about you. Of course, I love helping my clients have a better business model that supports their goals and their dreams, but I know that you're heart-centered, you care about helping people. And the good news is this model is actually amazing for helping your clients. When you have a higher ticket model, you are able to give more access to you and give higher support levels, which is super valuable, especially in today's market. People are loving high touch, high proximity offers. When somebody spends more money with you, they're generally coming in with increased motivation and adherence to your recommendations and your plan. When people pay something that's a little bit scary, a little bit uncomfortable, they're going to take it a lot more seriously. If you've ever invested in your own self, whether that's your business or your health, and it was something that made you uncomfortable, you probably had that experience too. As soon as you made that payment, you're like, all right, I'm in, we're doing this. And that in and of itself made you get better results. So because your clients are going to be paying for outcomes rather than just paying for your time, they're going to be more committed, more motivated. They're going to be showing up for the sessions. They're going to be really taking it seriously. And because you're designing an offer that's truly designed to solve a problem for your clients, they're actually going to get better results because you're able to deliver a higher quality service. You're going to hear some stories in our case studies if you go to lauraschoenfeld.com/inspire that are going to show you the experience that those providers and coaches had when they changed to this high ticket model and how much better they were able to serve their clients. We have plenty of evidence and stories to show you that this is the case. And if you are somebody who really cares about your client results, then the high ticket, higher touch model is going to be perfect for you. Now, when we talk about business models, there's probably a bazillion different ways that we could define a business model and a bazillion different ways that you could actually build your business. But I want to simplify it for you. And really, when we're talking about a coach or practitioner who is selling a transformative program to an audience, there are 4 different business models that you can consider building that are either going to work really well for you or totally crash and burn. So those 4 business models are based on 2 elements of your business model that directly affect revenue. The first is the size of your audience. So how many total people are you selling to on a day-to-day basis? And the second is the price of your offer. Are you on the lower end, on the higher end? Again, I'm defining higher ticket as above $2,000. And for this industry, generally lower ticket is somewhere below $500. That's kind of giving you this awkward range between $500 and $2,000. That's not really low or high ticket. It's kind of more mid ticket. But most of our clients that are making good money are usually either under $500 with a high volume model or over $2,000 with a higher touch model. So the 4 different business models you could be building start with if you have a small audience and you have a low ticket offer. So we're either going low or high, big or small. If you have a small audience and you try to sell low ticket, you are going to struggle financially. This is where most coaches and practitioners fail because they're not charging enough to make their small audience actually work for them. And they're not getting enough sales to make their low ticket offer make them any money. If you do not have a big audience and you don't want to be basically a full-time marketer, you cannot make a good income off of a low ticket offer, full stop. So if that's where you're at right now and you have a small audience and you don't want to have to do all this work to grow this massive multi-thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s of people in your list to be able to sell to, then low ticket is probably not the way you want to go right now. And I hate to say it, but I see all these people asking on a lot of the free Facebook groups I'm in and some of the communities I'm in where they're asking, how do I get started with, I want to do this like passive course that I can just put on my website and people can buy it and I can just charge a couple $100s for it. And they have no idea the amount of work and the amount of marketing and sales activity that has to happen to make an offer like that remotely profitable. Most of them have very small audiences and they are completely deceived to think that they can just create this low ticket course and make a bunch of money on it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is literally just the worst approach to take if you don't already have some momentum with your audience. We can pretty much cross out the small audience, low ticket business model as a financially viable model. Do not do that model if you want to make money from your business. Now, the second model is big audience, low ticket. This one can totally work. I have a handful of clients that do this. They make, multi 6 figures of revenue every year from their lower ticket offer, even up to 7 figures of revenue. So this can work. And I don't want to discourage anyone from this particular model necessarily. But what I do want you to know is that the big audience, low ticket model requires extensive marketing. You need a big audience. You probably need an ad budget. One of my clients who's doing 40 to 50K a month in her sales is ramping up her ad spend right now to $30,000 a month. So that gives you an idea of the amount of money that you need to spend to get enough people into your offer to make that offer profitable. And she also, I think, has like somewhere between 40 and 50,000 followers on Instagram. Yes, it can work. And if you just love sales and marketing, if you love putting content out, messing around with ads, doing all that stuff, then yeah, that model can work. But if you don't want to have to be this marketing and sales expert and you just actually want to work with clients, then the big audience, low ticket model is probably not for you. A third option is big audience, high ticket. Now, obviously, that's probably going to be very profitable. And there are people who are running businesses like that and making 7, 8+ figures a year. And that's great. If you want to go that route, awesome. Go for it. The thing you need to know about the big audience, high ticket model is that you're probably going to end up being more of a team leader and a manager and running a large team so that client service and audience building can both be handled by team members versus you being the one that's doing a lot of the work to serve the clients. So if you're going to step into that big audience, high ticket model, you're really going to be in that CEO, delegator, leadership type of role and doing very little of the actual client work yourself. Again, totally awesome. There's people who do incredibly well with that business model, but it's not a business model that most people can succeed at. And it really does take a special type of person to be able to handle the demands of a large audience and a high ticket offer, which high ticket offers usually have higher expectations with the clients, right? So if you have a lot of people coming into a high ticket offer, they're going to have high expectations and you need to be really running a team to manage those expectations. So we come to our fourth and final business model, and that is smaller audience, high ticket. This is my favorite business model for most entrepreneurs, especially those who don't want to spend a lot of time in the sales and marketing side of their business. This is where you can make the most money with the least amount of audience growth. You don't need a big audience. You don't need a big team to support running your business. You don't need a big ads budget. And you can be making a 6-figure salary from a business model like this. This is why I love high ticket. High ticket is amazing if you love working with clients, if you love the actual transformative experience that you can walk a client through. If you're like me and you really like to know the people that you're working with, this is the perfect business model. Now let's do the math because it can be easy for me to tell you, yes, this is the business model you should do, but I want to show you the actual math of what this looks like when you switch from more of that lower ticket single session type of model into a higher ticket signature program model. First of all, let's assume your goal is $100,000 a year in revenue. Now, that's not going to be income because you're always going to have expenses, but let's just keep it simple and say if you want to make $100,000 a year in sales, that's about $8,400 a month in actual cash. That's going to net you, if you're taking out expenses, taxes, that kind of thing, you might be looking at somewhere around like a $60,000 to $85,000 salary. That can depend on if you're spending money on ads or if you're investing in a mentor. Not terrible, but not an amazing salary, not something that's going to be massively life-changing necessarily. And especially if you're not working your tail off to get there, right? So imagine you're selling single sessions at $120 an hour, or if you take insurance, that's what your insurance reimbursement is. If that's your rate, then you need to do 70 hours of client sessions every month to reach $8,400 in revenue. And that's assuming that you're not taking any time off, that you're having 100% attendance for calls, because we all know people cancel and reschedule. You would need to be conducting 16 to 17 one-hour appointments per week to make $100K of revenue. Now, if you want to pay yourself $100K as a salary, then you're going to need closer to 90 to 100 sessions per month, or 21 to 24 hour-long sessions per week if you're charging $120 an hour. And this isn't even considering the time that you would spend between sessions preparing for calls, writing up notes or recommendations after a call. That might take another 10 to 15 hours per week or more. If you're doing any admin time, and God forbid you want to do any sales and marketing activities to grow your business, now you're looking at a 40 to 50 hour work week, mostly serving clients, and much more than that if you're wanting to do any of those business growth activities like content creation, social media, or even just having vacation time during the year, more than like a few days here and there. Now, imagine instead that you were selling a high-ticket signature program that includes 6 one-hour sessions over the course of 3 months of support, and you sold it for $3,000 per client. This is a totally reasonable package. I have many clients who sell this kind of thing. To reach $8,400 per month in sales, you only need 3 new clients to sign up every month. And that's actually going to be more than 8,400, right? Now, if you have 3 new clients signing up every month for a 3-month program, you only need 9 active clients at a time. And you'd only need to deliver somewhere between 4 to 5 appointment sessions per week in order to serve those clients. Now, if you wanted to make a little more money and pay yourself $100,000 as a salary, you'll want to aim for about, let's say, $11,000 a month to account for some of those business expenses and investments that you're going to put into growing your business. If you're aiming for $11,000 a month, that means signing up 4 new clients a month on average, and you're going to have a buffer. That's actually $12,000 of sales. If you have 4 new clients signing up every month for a 3-month program, you only need 12 active clients at a time. And based on that particular program structure, you would only need to deliver 6 appointment sessions per week to serve those clients. So now tell me, which would you rather have? 21 to 24 client sessions a week or 6 client sessions a week, making a 6-figure salary? Hopefully you said 6. And if you did, this is why a high ticket offer is going to be a total game changer for you and your business. And the thing that you need to know, because I know sometimes raising your prices and selling high ticket can feel very scary, high ticket is no more difficult to sell than low ticket. But you do need a very different approach to selling if you're going to successfully sell a program at $2,000 or higher. Now, to show you what's possible with this shift to a high ticket program model, I want to tell you a little bit about my client Jillian's incredible story. Jillian was initially stuck in a cycle of offering low ticket one-on-one coaching sessions and primarily taking insurance for payment. She was overworked, constantly repeating the same information to different clients, and she was facing inconsistent income. Yes, she was making $100K in sales every year, but she was barely scraping that. And she was working 12-hour days, sometimes 7 days a week. And she had absolutely no work-life balance to speak of. She realized that she needed to change.
In early 2020, I was in a space of being full-time in the private practice. I was accepting insurance. So I had an insurance-based business, which I think served me well starting out. But I was essentially in a place where I was working myself into the ground. There was zero work-life balance and just a lot of misalignment overall with what I wanted the business to look like, how I really wanted to help people and the impact I wanted to have. So I was ultimately seeing clients 5 days a week. I was doing admin work on the weekends. I was working all sorts of crazy hours, seeing clients at 7 a.m., seeing clients at 7 p.m., to bending over backwards to accommodate all things with clients, and was going session by session with clients. And with certain clients that worked great, with other clients, it was really frustrating because it felt like it was prolonging the progress and just creating barriers in itself. So it was exciting to start to see the revenue increase, but I knew that it wasn't sustainable. And I think something you had pointed out on even like our introductory call was you described it as sort of this like hamster wheel that I was on. And that like very deeply resonated with me because that's what it felt like. I was just go, 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 go. And things felt very chaotic.
She came to me to work with me on the process and transitioned to a high ticket program model. She was able to consolidate her expertise into a comprehensive program which offered more value and structured support, more sessions, and less of that scrambling to get people to sign up every single week. And instead of charging for single sessions, she began selling those high ticket packages up front. Some of them were pay in full, some of them were payment plans. But with that change, Jillian's income didn't just stabilize, it skyrocketed. She achieved consistent 10K months in cash with a 50% reduction in client sessions. And within about a year of making that change, she was able to reach 20 to 30K months while seeing less clients and also helping people get even better results.
I think I went from the previous year of like 100K or breaking 100K revenue to like 350 or 325 in that first year, which was huge. And again, it was a situation where I also felt like I was working with more alignment overall, and women were just getting better results and having better experiences, which felt really amazing.
Within 2 years of shifting her business model to a high ticket signature program, Jillian was able to surpass $400,000 in revenue in a single year. This is a dietitian selling health specific results to real people. This is not a business coach. And she was making 400K in sales every year with this high ticket approach. And with fewer clients paying more per package, Jillian was able to reduce her workload substantially. She was able to focus on those high impact activities that helped her grow her business rather than just cramming her schedule full of client sessions and admin tasks. Even better, her clients that were investing in these high ticket packages were more dedicated to the process, which led to better results and higher satisfaction from her actual clients. That higher client satisfaction translated into more referrals, which helped Jillian grow her client base organically without needing a massive audience. These shifts allowed Jillian to have more free time, to make more money, and significantly improved her work-life balance and overall quality of life. Jillian's journey from struggling with a low-ticket, high-volume business model to achieving over $400,000 in a year with a high-ticket package model is a testament to the effectiveness of focusing on selling one high-value offer to the people who are ready and willing to pay. This strategic shift not only allowed her to make way, way, way more money, but it also massively improved her clients' outcomes and satisfaction. If you want to hear Jillian's full story in her own words about the journey she went on, go to laurschoenfeld.com/inspire to listen not only to Jillian's experience in shifting to a high ticket program model, but you can also hear of other incredible coaches and practitioners that I've had the pleasure of working with to help them grow their business to multiple six figures with a higher ticket model. And they didn't have to do it by burning themselves out, having tons of sessions with clients, or having to use sleazy or unethical marketing tactics to get there. These stories are going to be so inspiring to you to see what's possible when you switch to this high ticket program model. And they're really going to help you take the leap if you have been nervous or scared or hesitant to make that change and to really go all in on that high ticket signature program model.